So, you guys asked some insane questions. There is some very juicy questions in here. Some that I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to answer. Like, if there was a PR person behind me and I read one of these out, they would be like, don't answer that question. So we'll just have to see. I'm gonna read out the questions. I just think it's hilarious that people have actually written what they've written on some of them. And I think you guys will enjoy seeing the questions that I've got. Remember, it's all completely anonymous, so I have no idea who's asked me these things. It just makes it just that bit more spicy, a bit more interesting. We've got a good few to get through. I think I'll start out with some less spicy ones, just so you can see. I'll just show you all the questions, so there's loads and loads. Oops. Oh, I've got a new one a minute ago too. Should we start off with this one then, this brand new one? So it says, any advice for people wanting to start creating content? The biggest bit of advice I would give anybody is just do it. There's literally nothing stopping you creating content if you want to create content. There's space out here for all of us. To be honest, the more people that make content, the better. It's free entertainment for all of us. I'm making this not just as entertainment for you guys, but as entertainment for myself as well. I really enjoy doing it. Just if you want to start creating content, just go create the content. Create stuff that you enjoy watching other people do. It's nice to have somebody in your corner. So I would say, if you can, and you will as well, you just will, when you start making content, you will make friends. You start off in the low numbers with people, and then as you grow and they grow, you grow together, and it's like this nice journey that you take. There's a girl on TikTok who we kind of started at the same time posting content. She's called Ellen Izzy. She's doing so well now, climbing up kind of the follower numbers together, asking each other for advice and things. It was so helpful. Ask people what they think of it. Don't be afraid of a bit of constructive criticism as well. Anyway, I'm yapping. So that was literally one question and I've spent 10 minutes on it. I'm going to cut half of that out. Let's go to the next question. I'm going to scroll right down to the bottom for the next one. Oh my god, I cannot use this app. Come on, baby. So the first question I got, it literally just says, who do you miss the most? Let me show you. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this means from the All-Star Academy. I don't know. I miss all the girls, really. I had such a nice time getting to know them all. I want to see them all the time if I could. So this next one says, tell us about Pippa. How long have you had her? And how is she with the horses? Pippa is my dog. Pippa, you want to come up here? I'm actually sat right next to her bed at the moment. You might be able to see her little nameplate. Come here, babes. She's having a big stretch. Oh, there we go. Oh, you're very long, aren't you? Oh. Wee. So Pippa is my beautiful girl, and she's made of pencils, aren't you, honey? So Pippa is 6, so I've had her 6 years. We got her when she was 8 weeks old. I got her when I was a year into my relationship with Duncan, which is pretty hilarious when you think about it. So this is our baby. She has to be covered up with a blanket at all times. So she's half Italian Greyhound, she's half Whippet, which makes her like a Whippet but a bit smaller, or like an Italian Greyhound but a bit bigger. I wanted an Italian Greyhound. I just love Jenna Marbles, and I just absolutely adored her, and I adored her dogs and just everything about her, really. And I actually pay a bit of homage to her with my little logo, with the Molly and Belle logo, because it says horse girl energy at the bottom. So I always used to say that she had horse girl energy. So yeah, so that's why I ended up with Pippa, because I wanted to get an Italian Greyhound, but they were just a little bit too small and spindly for me to not worry that she would break her legs around the horses. Actually, she's the best dog I've ever known. I know everyone says that they have a soul dog, like you have a heart horse, and Pippa is absolutely mine. She's so cute, she's so cuddly, she's like a hot water bottle. She's brilliant with the horses. She's just a bit daft. If she's in the way, she might not get out the way fast enough because she kind of freezes in fear. So you kind of have to make sure you've got your eye on her, but she's just a good girl. As long as she's got a nice big coat on and she's warm enough, she's really happy coming to the farm, and there's always loads of dogs up at our yard as well to play with. So you don't have a bad life, do you? So if you could collab with anyone, would you? So I guess this means if I could collab with anyone, who would I collab with? If it's anybody in the world, I'm picking Jenna Marbles. I know you're expecting like a horsey person, but that is my all time. If we're going with horsey people, I'm going to go with Megan Elphick Event Ponies. She just seems like my kind of person. She just seems like someone I would get on with really well. I mean, I think that's why a lot of us really relate to her content, because she does just seem like somebody that you would just be friends with. It's that like parasocial relationship, isn't it? But having met her in person as well, I just think she's a really nice girl. I think she's more obviously into like the competition aspect of horses, whereas I'm a bit more, I just want to do the fun bits and bobs. Our dutiful boyfriends could hang out together while we did it. So Megan, if you're up for that, drop me a DM. So next question. What is my everyday job? I have a some days job. Not very interesting, I just muck out some stables. Typical horse girl job. Okay, so we've gotten to one of the slightly dodgy questions. So I'm probably not going to answer this because, so I read this and I was like, what does that even mean? Because I had no idea this was even a thing. So if it is, the answer is I don't know, but I don't think it is a thing. I think this person is referring to a video in which I am not picked. But each to their own at the end of the day. Oh, sugar, just dropping my phone. So I'm just going to show you it, because I don't really want to read it out and bring it into the world. So moving swiftly on. Okay, what's Megan Elphick like in person? And there's a face about that. Did I kind of go into that on my last question? I think I did. So when we were at All Star Academy, I have to admit, I don't think I spoke to Megan like for the whole week. It was super busy and we just kind of weren't in the same space a lot of the time unless we were on camera. Tina we saw a bit more of because she was kind of there for like moral support as well as being like hosting duties, whereas Megan was pretty much like pure hosting duties. And I think because she knew a lot of the crew as well, from past like jobs with them and stuff, that she probably, sorry, just putting some Vaseline on my lip here really dry. She probably just wanted to hang out with her friends most of the time. She didn't know any of us. We all had each other. If it was me, I would probably be the same. I would stick with the people that I already knew and wanted to spend time with, really. So completely get that. So we didn't really see much of her at All Stars. I managed to get a sneaky selfie with her at the end of All Stars, but it's quite possibly the worst selfie that I've ever taken. So it's almost as bad as the one I took with Chris Hughes. So that's for my own personal collection, not for anyone else to see. But I did meet her again at Your Horse Live and she was super, super lovely. I'd gone to the toilet and she met my other half, Duncan, and waited for me so she could say hi, which was really, really nice of her. And we had a little chat. Yeah, again, she just seems like someone that I would really get on with. She's pretty much exactly like you see her in her videos. The thing is about doing these vlogs, like you can't pretend to be somebody else. Like you are who you are. And I think if people complain about people not being like they are in real life, you have to remember that in that situation where somebody online is meeting you, a stranger, they don't know you like you know them. And it might be more of an uncomfortable position than you would think, because like me, for instance, when I'm filming, I'm around Duncan and I'm around like my yard friends. It's really easy for me to be like happy and excited and have a great time. But if I was to meet a stranger out on my own in a situation where I might be like out of my comfort zone, I might not be the same as what you would see online. And that's nothing to do with not being the same person or putting on any kind of act. It's just simply the fact that it's a whole different scenario. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if anyone ever has said that about Megan Albert, by the way. I don't know if they have at all, but that goes for like any influencer. I definitely have seen it about certain horse YouTubers to say that they're not as nice in person. And I just think it's a really cruel thing to say, because they're giving you an insight into their life where they feel comfortable, in control, and they're with all the people that they're comfortable with. Whether that's just themselves or that's a group of people that they trust. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay, off Machara All-Star, who of the other All-Stars would you let ride Belle? That's a hard one. Well, I could see going on a little hack or something with a few of them, like Jade, for instance, I'd happily let her take her out for a little ride. Julia, obviously. Fifi, I'm sure we could have a little ride together. Becky as well, although she'd have to put some roller skates on, I think, because I think she'd be a bit tall for her. Her poor legs would be like dangling down. It's like my friend Kate, who's like 6 foot. She's ridden Belle before, and like literally like her legs could touch underneath if she wanted them to. Yeah, I'd happily let any of those guys. Think of this as an open invitation, any of you. If you are watching this video, you're welcome to come up and have a little ride out with me anytime you like. Another All Stars question here. So, do you still speak to anyone from All Stars? Yes, I do. I'd like to speak to them all more. Life just gets in the way. I probably speak to Jade the most. We didn't spend too much time together on the actual show, but we talk to each other quite a bit now, and I think hopefully we'll stay friends for a long time. She's so easy to get along with. She's really fun and she's really funny. Can you tell us about your journey with mental health issues? Yes. I'll put a little timestamp just in case you want to skip this. I have suffered with anxiety probably from when I was very, very young. There's a lot of signs that I was a very anxious child. My mum and dad split up when I was about 6 or 7. I struggle to remember a lot of my childhood. I struggled for a long time with eating. There was a lot of times where in school I wouldn't have like lunch because I wouldn't have any money for it, or I wasn't like, you know, I was never made a packed lunch or anything or given any money. And for a normal child who would be able to remember to do it themselves, that's absolutely fine. Wouldn't be an issue, but for me, because I couldn't even remember like what book I needed on a certain day, there was no way I was going to remember to bring like money for lunch and things. So a lot of the time I would go without food, and then I would come home and then probably eat too much when I got home, and then that turned into kind of binge eating and then throwing up because I didn't want to be fat in school. And that cycle continued for a long, long time. It was probably most bad when I was in 6th form, when I was really struggling with my mental health quite badly. I remember going to one of like the school counsellor people, and they said, what do you want to do when you leave here? And I was just like, well, I don't really care because I don't think I'm going to be alive long enough to care what I end up doing. So yeah, so I completely failed all my A-levels, unsurprisingly, and was very poorly throughout with my eating. And then it kind of was on and off from a lot of it there. Then I ended up kind of scaring myself because I ended up being really ill all the time. And that was obviously due to like the lack of nutrition and things. I'd always been a bit of like a sicky child. I get colds really often. I still do now. With like health anxiety and stuff, I'd read about how throwing up a lot can really like impact your teeth and things. I do have really bad teeth now because of it. So I went through phases really of kind of stopping it, and then I would put on a bit of weight, and I would put on the weight quite quickly because my metabolism was quite badly altered. And then I would start like the cycle again. And I was also getting better at like starving myself for like weeks at a time to lose the weight, and then I could have like my binging weeks. So that was a difficult time, but eventually I got out of it, and I was in a fairly healthy state because I started working at a riding school, and the amount of work that I was doing, I couldn't eat enough to keep myself fit and healthy anyway, so it was like I could eat whatever I wanted. It was amazing. I was super fit. But then that did eventually get a little bit much for me, and I ended up stopping work there, and then I moved on to just doing the teaching, and then I was super depressed at that place, super anxious. There's a lot of negative vibes there, and it was I had to do like 10 full hours of non-stop teaching, and I wouldn't even get a break. And if I needed a break to like go and ask if I could go and use the toilet between teaching lessons, they would be really like grumpy and funny about it. It was a really strange place to work. So yeah, then I ended up leaving there, and I got a job working with where I met Duncan. And at that point, my eating had gotten to a point again where it was not being good again, and I was starving myself at this point, so I wasn't necessarily throwing up, but I was just not eating. All I would have all day was a bottle of flavoured water, the sugar-free ones, and like maybe cups of tea if I was feeling like it. And then I was working like long hours as well. But then when I met Duncan, I got comfortable with myself, and I had somebody that would support everything about me, really, and was happy to let me kind of be myself. And I put on plenty of weight, as you do often when you meet somebody that you're finally very comfortable with. It's like maybe the one time in my life where I haven't thought about resorting to going back to those ways. And sometimes I do probably eat more than I should. I'm not as healthy as I should be. I am trying to find a balance of it at the moment, but it's just, I'm still finding my way. It was only like 7 or 8 years ago when I met Duncan, so I'm still learning, I'm still figuring out myself and how to be the best version of myself. I don't want to resort back to how I used to be, even if I do have times where I feel like I'm not doing the best by Belle by being a little bit more overweight, but I will just simply not ride her until I feel like I can healthily lose the weight in a comfortable way. So yeah, so that's that. Anxiety is just part of everything I do at all times. It has been since I was little. Everything else is just on top of that. The OCD, the AFRID, the eating disorders. It all just mingles into one, really, and it's hard to kind of separate them out. And then also there's the ADHD, which I'm looking into, thinking about potentially treating at some point, but then my OCD and my AFRID makes it difficult for me to kind of trust taking medicines and things. So I don't tend to take anything for my anxiety either, because of the way it affects those sides of things. So I've got a lot of things kind of battling each other at the moment, but I have all my life, and I'm getting on with it. I'm dealing with it as best as I can. I won All-Star Academy last year, so things aren't too bad, and I can do hard things. And all these horrible cards that I've been dealt, there's lots of cards that are extremely good as well. There's Duncan, there's my pony, there's my dog, and there's all of you guys. So there's always good cards and bad cards. Hope that makes sense and it's not too harrowing for you to listen to. I know it's a hard topic to talk about, isn't it? I feel more comfortable in myself now than I ever did before, and I don't feel the need to resort to those drastic eating measures anymore, which is good. Proud of myself. Okay, this one says, what was the worst bit of the TV show? Okay, so the worst bit, probably that racing simulator. Or the dorm rooms. The dorm rooms were quite bad. The dorm rooms, they're like in the indoors, and it kind of smells like indoor in there, and you just, when you indoors have that kind of like dusty smell. Anyway, it was kind of like giving me like that like overwhelmed feeling when I was there. And also, I was sharing a room with Fifi. I wanted to go to bed early and wake up early. She wanted to go to bed late and wake up later. So it was like trying to kind of organise ourselves not to wake each other up was like an absolute nightmare. And we were both super messy as well, and it was such a tiny room. There's like no room to be messy, but we had so much stuff as well. And the bunk beds, and I only had one pillow. I was like sleeping on like a rolled up jumper under my pillow, and I think Beth was using like a rolled up towel under her. Nobody said we might have to, I would have brought a spare pillow, but nobody said about the dorm room situation. And when we've like watched past ones, like you can't tell that the rooms are like they were like. But yeah, anyway, I'll try and insert a picture of the mess on that final day that mine and Fifi's room was. And I think this picture it's not even the worst it got throughout the week, because I definitely tidied before I took this picture. So yeah, those are the worst bits. If you could work with any equestrian brand, who would it be and why? Probably be Nailers. Well, for one thing, I absolutely love the girls that came to All Stars and that worked for Nailers. They were so, so nice. Nailers is just an all-round store as well. Like, it has got a bit of everything in there, and also their own brand, the Royal Scot. Like, I've got a coat from there and Duncan's got a coat from there. They do some really nice stuff, so I think that would be an amazing brand to work with, and it's such like an iconic one as well. Would you buy a second horse? Not at the moment. Belle is plenty for me at the moment. If I had a lot of spare money, then yeah, I probably would, because I wouldn't have to worry about potentially put one of them on livery or something. So no plans at the moment. Also, I think Alicia might murder me if I just brought another horse, because we are over capacity at the moment on the yard. I'm at a point in my life where I don't want any extra added stress. So yeah, long-winded, but yeah, no second horse for now. Okay, who did you think would have been in the final? Again, I think this one is about All Stars. I literally thought any single person could have been in the final. The only kind of sure thing I had in my head was that it would not be me. I would not be in the final. But I thought literally anybody else could have been in the final. Everyone was amazing. If I had to pick one person who I would have possibly seen myself definitely trading places with, Jade, Patchy Ponies for the win. That needed a patchy pony in the final. If it wasn't me, it should have been Jade. So, go Jade and Eddie. What did I win? So, I won a £750 voucher to Machara and a £90 voucher to Nailers, and I spent them all within a couple of weeks. It was very easy to do. I bought Duncan a coat with my Nailers voucher, and I bought a couple of jumpers and things for friends and family from Machara, and I got myself some leggings and base layers and things from there. Super lucky, super grateful. Thank you very much, both Machara and Nailers. You are amazing. You are wonderful sponsors. If you could change one thing about your All-Star experience, what would it be? I don't know if I would change anything really. I would have loved to have spent a bit more time with the gang in the evenings, but I was just really struggling really, and I needed to just have my quiet time. But I do feel like I was super unsociable, and I would have loved to just be able to hang out with those guys, but it was just more important that I felt good for being able to feel good for Belle. Was there any drama between anyone? You guys? No, there was no drama between anyone. You wish there was, though. You absolutely wish there was. No, nothing exciting like that, unfortunately. You know, I can't lie, I don't mind a bit of drama as long as I'm not involved. That's really toxic of me. No drama whatsoever. Everybody was friendly, lovely, enjoyed each other's company. Everyone helped each other out. We were all rooting for each other. Everyone was just there for having a good time, really. So yeah. No drama. Sorry to disappoint you. Who's your favourite equestrian influencer? Pick my bestie Sam and Earl of TikTok, or Eventing Earl. She's my favourite equestrian influencer. She's amazing. You should go follow her. And also Elle and Izzy as well on TikTok and on Instagram actually as well. She's one of my faves. Okay, what breed is Belle and how did you first meet Belle? Belle is unknown. She's just a pony. I just call her a pony. She's a native cob. She's not like a traditional fluffy cob. She's some sort of native pony. I'm pretty sure she is out of a fell pony. Like her mum was a fell pony, but I don't think her mum was a registered fell pony. I definitely think she looks like she's got fell pony in her. How did I first meet Belle? She came to the riding school I used to work at. How old was Belle when you got her, and did you always know she was going to be a star? She has always been a star. She's been a star from the very start. Yeah, I did. She was amazing. She's just the best pony ever. There will never ever be another one like her. She was 4 when I got her. Are you going to vlog your showing experiences over the summer? And there's one of these with it. Anything I do with Belle this year is getting vlogged. That's what I've decided. We're doing vlogs. We're cracking on with them. Oh, by the way, this is how you sit when you're hypermobile. So yeah, we're going to pump out those vlogs this year. We're going to really give this YouTube thing a whole go. A good old, what's the word? A something try. A good old cricket try. What I say? A good old something try. I'm just going to Google that 1 second. I wonder if anyone's ever Googled this. Good old college try. Okay, that's what I'm going to give it. If you competed, Belle, what would be your favourite discipline? I do compete sometimes. I used to love doing dressage. I'd done dressage to music before, which was my absolute favourite thing that I ever did. I would love to give a bit of eventing a go at some point. Maybe I will try and do at least one this year, just so I can say I've done it on Belle, because I like doing cross country. I just don't like jumping competitively. That's the only thing. I feel like I don't like to like push out of my comfort zone. I like to take it at my own speed. I like to be calm and collected. Oh, I'm forgetting about working hunter. I love working hunter because you don't have to be super speedy. You can go around at your own speed and it just has to look nice. What's my dream horse life look like? Picture like Somerford's Farm Park, but instead of like having loads and loads of stables and stuff, we just have like a nice, like beautiful manicured clock tower yard. You know what I mean? Like, so there's like 2 sides here, one at the back, and there's a big clock tower in the middle. And then like a nice castle on the other side, and Enya lives in it with me. Okay, does Duncan ride Belle? No. Duncan is too big to ride Belle, unfortunately. I am quite short and I am getting a little bit further than that 15%, so I would like to, this is why I'm not really riding that much at the moment, because I could do with losing a little bit of weight, because I don't like to put too much strain on Belle, on her joints and things now that she's getting older. The ideal percentage with you and all your horse's tack is between 15 and 20% of your horse's body weight. Belle's ideal body weight is like 500 kilograms, so 15% of that, I am around there somewhere. I can't remember exactly, to be honest. But yeah, just to be mindful of that really. But Duncan is probably closer to that 20%, if not at almost that 20%. So it just wouldn't be fair on her. He will like sit on her to go up to the field every now and then, like just for a bit of fun, because it's not really doing much harm there. We have to look after Miss Belly Bobs, especially now she's getting a bit older. This one says, when are you going to ride Earl? I'm not going to ride Earl. I'm too scared and he's too big. He's absolutely enormous. So Earl is Sam's big grey. He's absolutely beautiful and I love him. But I don't feel the need to ride him to prove this. Maybe one day. If I'm a few tequilas down, I might get on. But until that day, I'm not making any promises. If you could change one thing about Belle, what would it be? Nothing. She's perfect. In all seriousness, if I had to change one thing, it would be the fact that she is a head shaker. Again, you might not know this about Belle, but probably about 6 or 7 years ago, she was diagnosed as a head shaker. And at that point, it was very, very bad, to the point where we thought we might have to put her to sleep because of it. So when they head shake, it can be for a number of reasons, but Belle's is due to a nerve that fires off in her face. So basically, it's a nerve. So we have one as well. It goes like down here, trigeminal nerve it's called. People with the neurological issue of trigeminal neuralgia, people with that have a very high suicide rate. So that should tell you a bit about how painful it is and hard to live with it is. I think at this point I've found a good balance with it. She still does get the head shaking when it's particularly windy and rainy. That's just something we have to deal with. I don't tend to ride when it's windy and rainy. I actually love going out in the wind and rain. I like to pretend I'm in like a Lord of the Rings scene. I'm delivering the message through whatever weather. I will get this message to Rohan. Anyway, sorry for being a nerd. But yeah, that is one thing I would change, is that she wouldn't have head shaking anymore. Would I ever put Belle in foal? No, due to, again, the head shaking. She doesn't have very good conformation. And as much as I would love to have a little baby Belle, also it would be super selfish of me, and Belle is a maiden mare at 15, so it would be super dangerous for her. Still, I just don't think bringing another Belle into the world with the potential for it to have another horrible neurological issue is particularly kind or smart. But what are my plans for me and Belle? Carry on having fun. Carry on enjoying life. Taking away some of the stress together and going out having fun, having a good time. Making some nice memories together. This one says, what's it like being a TV star? Good, yeah. It's great. I don't really feel like a TV star, to be honest with you. And Belle's the star, really, not me. I'm kind of just here. I'm just here along for the ride. Belle's the main event. So yeah. Have people changed how they are with you since you won the All-Star Academy? Not that I've noticed. There's a couple of people that have come back into my life, but I'm always happy to chat to people, and I love making new friends and making old friends new again. I don't think anyone's particularly changed how they are towards me. Who other than Pammy Hutton would you have loved to have a lesson with? Pippa Funnel. I may or may not have named my dog after her. Please don't tell her this. Yeah, I had all of her like computer games. I used to play them all the time. I was like completely obsessed with them. And I love her podcast as well that she's got out at the moment. She's just a cool person. I'd love to know her and I'd love to have a lesson with her. She just seems like a beacon of wisdom and knowledge. Favourite colours on Belle? She suits everything because she's an icon. Favourite colour on her is navy, and that's my favourite colour on me as well, so that's a bit selfish of me, isn't it? But yeah, that's my favourite. Bright colour wise, blue. Oh, actually, I really like champagne colour, or any like beige sorts of colours look really nice. Yellow actually looks really nice on Belle. So hopefully Lemia bring out a yellow this week. Fingers crossed there's a nice yellow in there, because I am looking for one. For the last question. This is the absolute worst one as well. I don't know why I've saved this till last. I don't think I'm going to answer it. Well, I'm definitely not going to answer it, though. You'll understand why when I read it. Who was your least favourite person on All Stars? How grim is that? That's so mean. That's pretty much it, I think. Pretty much gone down the list. There's a couple I've left off, but they were like either repeat questions or very similar to the other ones. I hope that has given you a bit more insight into me and Belle and our little life. Next video, hopefully, will be my tidying video. I just need to get the oomph to do it. I need to be in a certain mood. Yes, let's hope that is soon. There she is, you're tired. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.